To understand what a cyber incident response plan is and its components and why they are important, I went ahead and shared with you detailed information about what causes incidents. In order to have a response plan for a cyber incident, it's important that several different departments within the organization work collaboratively. And these departments should be IT, security department, infrastructure, engineering, communications, yes, communications, PR, marketing, because you have to protect the brand, as well as key managers and at least one senior level manager who's aware of everything that's happening, not to mention risk and legal. Yes, this may sound like a lot of different departments, but if you have at least one person in each department that's part of this response plan team that will create the incident response plan report, you'll be least likely to lose extraordinarily amounts of money due to financial loss, or have sensitive data be accessible for a long period of time because you can find and mitigate that risk quickly. The components of an incident response plan includes preparation, identification, containment, eradication, and recovery. Let's go ahead and take a look at preparation. So when we talk about preparation, we're talking about having a documented list of procedures in place for any incident that can occur. That means everyone knows what should happen if an incident, no matter what it is, occurs within an organization. Some of the questions that you need to ask, especially as part of the team, the incident response plan team, is to understand, okay, how will you know what incident occurred? Who reports an initial incident? Let's say phishing. You have a phishing email. Someone is looking for an employee to click a link so they can embed malicious malware code into the organization's software system. And this is a critical business system. What does that employee have to do to report that incident? Does that employee know they need to report it? These are things you have to be asking. When do you involve legal when something like this happens? What does management need to know? You really need to know if it's time to talk to management. If an email was sent out and an employee noticed it, should you really talk to management then, or just handle the situation right then and there because you knew the employee knew to report something that was suspicious to the security team? The security team found it, made a warning out to the organization. Nothing was compromised. No systems were compromised at all because the employee didn't click the link. This is probably not the time that you will notify management because there's no need. However, if that employee, another employee, and another employee after that click the same link, you have this malicious code going into the system at completely different ends. And not only can it penetrate the email system, it can go further out and go into maybe the databases, go into the payment system, go into different critical components that you have to run your business. That is definitely when management needs to know. Should the attack system be left online or immediately moved offline? This is essential because some organizations cannot have nor afford to have their systems penetrated for a long period of time. There is a grocery store chain that also has gas stations in the US on the East Coast called Wawa. Their systems were penetrated through the use of point of sale for taking payment for car, gas, petrol. And that malware was in the system for 9 months before the organization even knew it happened. They gained access to millions of users' personal information, including their identities and part of their payment information. That's a serious issue. So when should you take a system offline if you know it's been penetrated is a question that you would have to make as part of the response plan team and the management of an organization. And then lastly, what resources are available and who has access to it? As part of the incident response plan team, there needs to be something in place to say, okay, who knows what's happening? Where is this information? And who all will access it? Because everyone that's part of that response plan team needs to be able to do their part, communicate effectively so it can funnel out throughout the organization so that the organization can be protected. A good example of this, as I said earlier, is the phishing email. Phishing, whaling is when an organization is penetrated through the CEO or the CFO, someone in the high-level senior management who was sent an email that they think may come from procurement, they think they may come from their assistant, they think it comes from someone they know. They click on the link or provide information, and then the entire system, the entire organization, quite frankly, is compromised. Phishing itself is typically when bad actors are going after employees in an organization, either posing as high-level senior personnel, posing as HR, or doing something else to get a person to either download a document or click a link. And in both of these, you have malicious code, which